This is literally 12th house Scorpio. So my dreams are, they've never been dreams.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
I'm going to trust in that. So,
yeah. Okay.
No, please hit me. Would you like to go off on would you like to start with the angel pull in the dream as it works us into it?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to clarify your dream with the card.
Okay.
Or I could do an introduction to all of us for the eclipse, just to pull a card for that. And then I can clarify it for you after as well.
Perfect. Thank you. So you gave me that next step. So here's what I'll do to start, right? One, I'm going to start with just candle magic, primarily to do what I had told you prior. We're going to cover the heart chakra here, and I saw some heart chakra comments. We're going to cover this. That way, this will be burning the entire time for all of us collectively in this call to go ahead and help us to release and allow the certain doors to close. And then I will bring this back off to Shireen, and she'll help to interpret what was the dream about, which I feel like has a collective purpose for all of us here listening. I almost kind of prayed on it, if I'm being honest, like without even really trying. I was like, whatever dream we do interpret tomorrow, like let it be for all of us. So what happened. I didn't know that was going to happen, but it did. And then that after Shireen gives that interpretation, I will focus primarily on the actual angel Reiki part that I was promising prior, which is really calling forward towards, through some movement as well. Archangel Michael, what is that card?
Entrepreneur.
Boom. I'm telling you, this is entrepreneur. I'm excited. I'm so excited. So,
that's brilliant.
So in this moment, and Eileen actually, or Laura, and the other Laura in here, she actually taught me this. One, for starters, when you do something like the olive oil, you want something like olive oil because it helps to drip, okay? You do not go back up the candle. I made this mistake the first time I did this, okay? You do not slide back up the candle because you want all of this stuff off your heart to drip down and off, okay? So don't bring it back up, right? And also, whenever you're doing candle magic, never light something. I've made this mistake before as well. Never light something in the candle that you're burning things away from, right? So if I'm burning things off of some icky black stuff off my heart, lack of forgiveness, lack of compassion, and X, Y, and Z, never then light your cigarette off that same candle. Let it burn on its own. Let it do its work, and consider that something that needs to go off on its own. Don't combine that with other things. Don't light your incense. I did that mistake one time. I think I had lit my sage in the same thing that I was looking to burn away. Don't do that. Learn from my mistakes. So, is there anything on the heart chakra specifically that you would like for me to put as for the intentions that are burning off of this? If so, you can just either shoot that out loud or you can type it in the chat. And I'm pulling up the chat here now. My Zoom got closed. Releasing self, sabotage, and guilt. So guilt is definitely one of those things that get caught in the heart. So right here, part of my intention on this is releasing the need for acceptance. Thank you, Angela, as well. Okay, releasing loops, unhealed times. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate you. Boom. Releasing guilt, Agnes, awesome. Green is for the heart, and blue follows. Your dreams. Okay, so anything stopping us on our heart, anything sticky on our heart that's stopping us from these dreams moving forward. Okay, releasing the self-doubt, awesome. So really to trust our heart. Anyways, we don't trust our heart, let it happen. Shireen loves your voice, Earl. Awesome. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for that. Now I'm going to move over at the same thing. I want to ask you, as I take the moment to release from this blue, this throat chakra, okay, the Vishuddha in Sanskrit, understanding that on the negative or downsides, if you will, overreactive sides of the heart chakra, this is pretty much poor communication. This is a lack of creativity. There's a lack of creative expression. Okay. this is starting to really curse people out based off of using our behaviors and our emotions to passively be an aggressor rather than verbally communicating properly. So anything that I see here, I'll go ahead and add that in as I check the chat. Negative energy, release and close harm, means of protection. Thank you, KD. Illusions, absolutely. I see you. Releasing the need for validation. Beautiful. Okay. In this moment, take a time to just listen to the birds. Feel the wind, the nature. And understand that in this moment, we're guided by more than just my voice, and more than just your voice. Nature is one of the most direct sources that we have to our own intelligence. And so in the meanwhile, what I will do is I will allow this to go ahead and burn the entire time to completion. So that's another thing. Never stop these candles either. Once you burn it, especially for something so intention-based, let them go. Let them go. Okay. So I will definitely show you guys this to check in throughout the time, but for now, I'm gonna kind of push them off to the side. Let them stay off over here in the meanwhile. And in this moment, if you can, just go ahead and open your chest a little bit. Begin to relax your jaw. Any tension there, just let the tension in your teeth go. Notice your breath become silent, soft, and effortless. As the sound carries you and helps you to calibrate. I'm noticing some black smoke early. So all of us as a group, which is pretty common. I'm releasing what no longer belongs and getting ready to shut these gates, close these doors. And what I'm going to do because of the wind is place this where the wind won't blow it out. Because the blue one already went. And that's the irony, right? The irony that I felt behind that is this is others already, in a sense, preparing to shut us up, right? As we step with this Venus and Aries energy, Jupiter and Aries, what we value about ourselves, what we're expanding about ourselves, part of that consequence naturally will bring more attention your way as you begin to be more of who you are, the unique individual, okay? As you get ready to close out the doors for people that were essentially supplied by your grade A premium energy. Those same influences need you to shut up. Those same influences need you to not express your truth. They need you to not let that icky off your heart, because that's been clouding you enough where they can continue to use you in ways that you do not approve of. Let's release that mental fog. Thank you. I saw that comment as well. Okay, here we go. So, this is the lunar eclipse. Okay, here's the Scorpio event for the day. Ultimately, you can definitely look at where Scorpio where is that in your chart. I'm a Scorpio rising, for example. So doors within myself are closing. That has stopped me from fully expressing and being myself. All right. Somebody type in the chat or say it out loud. Where does Scorpio sit in your chart? So I can give another example. Patricia, I see your mic's undone. I see fifth house. Fifth house Scorpio. Okay. So this would be you closing doors on certain non-committal romances, right? Certain non-committal romances from the past where certain programmings were adapted. And Scorpio there could potentially have looked at an instance in their love life where they've been burned. And it stopped them from being that fiery and fun self. And become very closed off where no one can come in to your love life, but you can't also express yourself outwards either. Scorpio moon, for example. All right. A Scorpio moon would now essentially need to close doors that ultimately has locked its emotions up, right? Now, what's dangerous about this is Scorpio in general is all normally private. Okay. Private, not secretive, private. There's a difference. Okay. Chooses to keep to itself and only reserve itself for the intimate relationships. Now, a lunar eclipse in this instance would allow you to actually embrace those intimate relationships. That blue one went out again. The green just keeps going. The blue went out. I felt it on my leg. My leg was like, check it again. They don't want us to speak, but it's cool. We're going to have that day. So for Scorpio moon, this would literally say something like, hey, the doors that are looking to close for you, and I know enough to know what house this is in, so I'm going to say sixth house, will say, any door, any influence in that intimate space of yours that ultimately has impacted your work life or even your body in a way where you had emotions trapped in the body, that because of that trap of energy, okay, that didn't have a proper flow, certain injuries will manifest. Injuries that are likely private because of the moon and how it's private. I see another sixth house. Thank you. So this is good. This is a good sample. So I'm going to apply this to both six houses. Injuries in the physical body would manifest that would likely stay private, likely would keep you trapped in a cycle of pain. Because with that door open, it would continuously remind you of what you lost. But the feeling would be loss rather than transformation. So instead of you being able to see it as, oh, this is what transformed my entire career and how I do work and how I take care of my body or how I implemented routines because of this painful event, this traumatic instance, the sixth house there, as an example, would say, look, let's close this door so now that you can actually, instead of seeing it as a loss, you can now start to see it as this was required for the transformation of my day-to-day, for me to just improve. So, okay, now the blue is going, now it's going heavy. It's like big flame now. Okay, we talking now. Now the blue is like raging. All right. Okay, here we go. The green is pretty much stable. It's normal. It's been what it's been. Now the blue is going buck wild. It's like, I'm out. I'm coming out. So what I want to bring you to from here is to really have Shireen pull the angel card and to take some interpretation so that y'all can be able to use this story of the dream last night for your own personal use, literally, because Scorpio transmutes. Okay, Scorpio transmutes. It takes the things from others in a sense, and it basically transforms it to benefit itself somehow, some way. So Shireen, you want to hit us with it?
Do you want me to pick a card now for your dream or for the collective? Because
for the collective first. For the collective first.
Yeah. Well, the first card that I got was entrepreneur, which I believe was for you and in relation to your dream. But I do believe that collectively the people here have I got that card for years and years, and I was only thinking of that card earlier today. And it takes time, but whoever in the chat here wants to do something and is holding back, it's just a matter of time. That I have to say that. So I'll pick another one. I'll take out another one for the collective. Okay. Listen. To listen is to learn from your higher self. Okay. Is when you're not speaking is when you get the answers. So it's about quietening down the mind. It's kind of meditative. It's your intuition. Always listen to that. Always listen to your intuition. This is for all of us. Okay. And perhaps we need to listen to each other a bit since we're all here. Okay. That's another one. Do you want another one?
In between, I'm having pause. Definitely pull another one. But before she does, I want everybody to just, on your own, you can say it in the chat if you like, or you can keep it to yourself. I want you to just digest what she said about listening, but also not just to, let's say, spirit or birds, but to others. And I want you to just digest that for a moment and understand that listening will get you the clarity that you need in this phase of entrepreneurship, whatever that looks like for you. And I know enough of you in here to know that many of you are in here in some shape or form, stepping into your own individualistic version or idea or concept of entrepreneurship. So I just want to state that once and then have her pull the next with that intention being involved.
Opportunity to forgive. Okay. This card is a blessing. This card, anytime it comes out, it's kind of like the card blessing in the skies, because once you have forgiven yourself, your past, or whatever it is, new opportunities come your way. So when you've let go, you make space for new. It's very simple, and it's also very encouraging. So if anybody right now is feeling like there's some baggage they're holding on to, whether it's your own, whether it's from, I don't know, family, friends, partners, life in general, you have to release it. That's very Scorpio as well, isn't it? Have we lost you, Pernell?
I was just asking, I just sent the message, are we breaking up a connection, or is it just my side?
No, I don't know. Can everyone hear us?
I think it might be Pernell.
It's Pernell. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So it makes a lot of sense that that's come out after listen, because it's only through listening that you can communicate for the opportunity to forgive something, because that takes communication, whether it's with yourself or others or just God or whatever, spirit. So it's about letting go. And by doing that, you have a clear heart. You've space for new. Because if your heart is heavy, then there's no room. There's no room for any new energy. It has to go, like that candle burning. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Can hear the birds. Should be fine. Okay. I just wanted to check. You know, this is the definition of Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, I know.
When I tell you, because I was surprised when I only been here for 14 days. I walked about like 9, 12 houses down. I'm not kidding. And my Wi-Fi was kicking. And I was like, who has Wi-Fi that can reach 12 houses down our street? And like, I'm like in a cul-de-sac too. So it's not even like, we're not even like fully stacked on top of each other, right? So I thought it was interesting. Like I said, again, the blue one, the green has not stopped yet. The blue continues to drip out. But we're gonna get this message out. We're gonna get this message out. Even if I have to sit here and put my hand over this blue candle for the entire day, I would do it. All right. So I'm gonna take a moment. Katie, what did you get from this message? What did you get? What did you get so far from everything spoken? To just throw an outside voice in.
Howdy, everybody. Howdy, howdy. So what I get initially is that it's the fear that's holding some of us back from being able to listen not only to our intuition, but to others, because the fear of, is this the right thing for me, right? I'm a strong advocate that there is no right or wrong. There are experiences that we experience, and through those experiences, we're able to learn the lessons that we need in order to obtain the tools that we need to continue to propel in whatever direction we need. Whenever she said entrepreneurship, the phrase that came to me is entrepreneurship is inevitable, because we're all shifting as a whole, the way that we interact with one another. Just by example, the way that you host your lives and your Eventbrite events, to be able to have people come in and not allow money to be a barrier for the information that is here for all of us to receive, right? It just doesn't come from a singular source, but we are all collectively adding to this pot of how we want to interact together as a society, which then goes again back to that listening to others, as well as your intuition, and then that opportunity for forgiveness. A lot of us are holding on so tightly to the things that have hurt us and have allowed we've allowed to keep us bound and burdened to those negative thoughts. So really having that opportunity to forgive and allow those things to release with these candles, right? A lot of some people may have their reservations about magic, but it's really just, in my opinion, an attention and intention, right? Mm-hmm. To partner with whomever you believe, God, whatever you call it. We're all talking about the same thing, and we get caught up in words and language and what it sounds like. But when you also, feel into that and really allow your body to speak to you as well, you will know when you are, going down the wrong path for yourself. You will know whether you need to take something on or release that and let it be. It doesn't mean that the other person's wrong and you're right. It doesn't mean that you're right and the other person's wrong. It's simply a difference of perspective and a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was powerful. When Shireen said to listen, and then KD spoke up about not charging for Eventbrite, right? To have them host these things. Now, at one stage, the listen part came to me, and it was like, I don't even know now, a while ago, and it was like, P, don't run donation-based events. They could change in the future, but for right now, leave the donations out. People want to come, they want to come. And this is kind of like that Saturn in Aquarius, in a sense, that humanitarian effort and duty. Third house, to communicate, aka to create just curious networks where people can implement. And Aquarius is all about the most unique part, your unique part in the role of the collective. And Shireen has said this, and this is why that entrepreneur card came out with the overall energy. Right now, what I'm getting as a collective message is we have to release the ick on our heart, because the heart is the one. I don't know if y'all even if y'all saw it. The heart is the one that's just going. It's going ham. You can see what's dripping, and it's not stopping either. It's almost like I need this so badly. Where the blue had a little opportunity to kind of like, you know, do its own thing, but the green was just like the heart chakra, which is like, look, no, I need this right now. We need this as a group, as a people. We need to let go. And I speak for myself, where this is where I think the dream will play its role, because the heart is really ultimately, this is, like I said, is anybody else feel like heart shaking a little bit? Because I'm not gonna lie, my heart was like it was doing a little flutter, and I'm like, oh, woohoo, woohoo. And Shireen, do you need me to tell the dream, or do you want to just take it from what you know about it now?
Well, you would have to give them a little, recap so that they'd understand why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So I wrote it down this morning. Essentially, I was in a dorm, right? I was like in a university dorm, and this woman was trying to get me with her sex appeal. And I don't even know what get me means up front when I say it like that, but it was like I was in a dorm, and what I found attractive about this woman was misinterpreted from what she thought I thought was attractive. And I don't think I told Shireen that part up front, because I didn't even know that up front until right now. But what I found attractive were, I don't even know what it was, but it was something more around personality. I don't know what the what was, but sex appeal was being used, and it kind of almost went like this, almost over my head, where I didn't even know that until right now as I speak it out loud. And it was enough in a sense to offer what I believed, get me to the cafeteria. So now we're going to the cafeteria, and in this place, we both seemed very popular. When I look at it now, I think, wow, oh crap. Okay, as I say it right now, the woman in a sense almost became more popular because I was a new kid coming in. I wasn't there prior. I wasn't a part of whatever system this was prior. I kind of stepped in it. I was like new to the dorms, new to the university. And so I step in the cafeteria, and like there's this popularity there. Okay. I don't have my notebook, so it's gonna gap out a little bit.
I remember.
You remember it? Okay. What happened after the calf? Eventually the bus comes, right? Was it the bus?
Yeah.
Okay. So this bus, I'm now on this bus, and we're going somewhere. And for the second time in my life now, which is like, it's super ironic, the peach dealer pulls up. He comes on a bus, and he's frustrated, which was interesting to me because I personally have not seen him frustrated yet. And from any personal conversation, whatever happened on a live or something like that, maybe somebody called something different, but I have not seen him frustrated. So he comes on the bus and he's frustrated. And then it kind of skips to, in a sense, this stadium. So I guess we arrive at a stadium. And I saw an old friend who every time I came home, and right now I'm in my hometown, I always hit up this one guy, but I also know that I outgrew him. So I didn't hit him up. My life is in a completely different trajectory. But he was up there at the top of the stadium, at the top of the steps too. Like I was walking up the steps, I saw him, and it was like, hey. But I just kept moving. I didn't really spend the time. I didn't really engage. It just was like mutual respect, no issue, but also no attention to give either, right? So I'm sitting in the stadium, and eventually at one point I take a step out. I'm at this stadium, this performance was going on, this grand performance. I never actually even saw the performance itself. I step out, but by the time I come back, I'm just intoxicated. Like I didn't drink anything, I didn't take anything, but it almost felt like I got roofied, drunk, high. It felt like every single drug was in my body because my eyes, I was so blurred out. I've never been like this in my real life. So it was almost strange to be so intoxicated in the dream. I then go and I was like, I need a moment. I step into the bathroom. Now, when I'm in the bathroom, what's up, Divine Arisha? While I'm in the bathroom, there was these hillbillies that were trying to get in, and no, I was trying to get out, and they were closing the door in. And I kind of get out, and they kept closing the door in. I tried to get out, and they kept closing the door in. So I'm like, what the heck? And the next thing you know, a donkey literally kicks through the wall and hits both of my shins. So through the wall, I see the hooves of like a horse, like a donkey. They had like real hooves, but like almost like they were placed there too, right? Like they were like iron hooves. Like they didn't come on birth. They were placed on this donkey. But the word cavalier kept coming out. So if anybody knows a cavalier, please type it in the chat, because I don't know why that word stood out. I wrote it down. It was like cavalier. It felt like a cavalier came through the wall, but I really saw donkey feet. Eventually, I'm like, what's going on? I get out through the window. As I get out through the window, these two guys basically beat me silly, like just beat the crap out of me. And I just kept in the meanwhile thinking, I gotta go. I have to depart. I need to grab my valuables. My valuables at the time was my laptop and my backpack. That's all I could remember. My laptop, my backpack. I had to grab my valuables. And so, happy Sunday or Saturday, Saturn day. Saturn. Okay, kicked in the shins. The shins are Aquarius, by the way. Saturn. So eventually I get away from the two guys that are basically just beating me silly. And then the backpack, my valuables were next to this like brother or cousin of the two guys that just beat me up. And this guy was legit like unfit for society mentally. Like he just looked the range, he felt the range. I was like, maybe he won't do anything at all. I could just take my bag. And I did. He like let me take it. But then as I'm like going away, eventually we just started like fighting to the death kind of thing. And I really couldn't beat him up. Everything, all of this was futile. I was so intoxicated. I like literally could not defend myself. I was even thinking in the dream, I was like, man, if only I wasn't so jacked up, I could just Muay Thai their ass. And I literally like said, I was like, if I wasn't so jacked, I could just Muay Thai their ass. But I couldn't. And then the range guy, the dream ends when eventually, for some reason, he just like, it ended with, I literally could not physically do anything, but he let me cut off his finger, this one. And I looked at palmistry after, and this finger was Saturn day, and it was also Capricorn. Just the top part, just this top part from here to here. And that was the part I kind of like cut off. And that was it. So I hit Shireen up afterwards, and I was like, hey, Shireen, is this something you feel like we can actually bring back and relate to the people? Like, what do you get from this? And then she'll take it from here on this eclipse message.
Okay, so this is a very compacted dream. And it's highlighting the fact, like I said, a state of war in yourself. Okay, because the bathroom that he keeps saying, as I said, is a place of relief. It's safety and relief. And he doesn't want to get out of that room. I'm going to come back to that. Okay. The girl in the beginning is kind of like something that seduces you into a situation that perhaps, you know, you're not ready for, or you believe you're not ready for. Okay. And it's somebody on the field of work because it's in the school, something you do, you learn together, you work together. The laptop is again, the communication and the media, things like that you kind of do yourself. So that's, you know, it's beginning off in a kind of a strange, you know, it's a strange tone to the dream. Okay. And then when the bus comes, the bus is the journey to where you're going. Okay. Obviously the peace dealer is a big part of where you're going. And it's something big because it's a stadium. It's an event. And it has you probably feeling a little bit emotionally held back or feeling intoxicated. It makes you feel out of control. It makes you feel not in control. It's a big kind of thing to you, right? But it's showing you what you're capable of. And you're looking up at it. It's something that you want, you know? It's something you look up to, people you look up to. So there's that part as well. And then, like I said to you, the wall in the bathroom with the donkey represents hard work. And As much as we try to keep ourselves safe, that donkey's going to beat through that wall and it's going to get you out of there. And that's your own strength. That's your own strength in your subconscious mind, trying to say, you can get out of here. Whatever this is, it's not real. It's a fear. It's an illusion. It's a trap that you can walk right out of. Right. And then the men those are your own emotions. You're fighting with your own emotions. And you're saying that there's no hope of me winning. But then he gives you his hand and you cut his finger off. So you overcome it in the end. You overcome it in the end. Again, the hand is to do with work. Your hands are to do with work. I'm a Capricorn. If, that's a bit of a synchronicity. It is Saturday, the 14th, which I told you. 14 it's not coincidence today. It's the 14th. Media, fame, all that. And I also said there's different levels to dreams that people don't understand, and there was a third thing. I said himself and his friend might possibly fall for the same girl. That could happen. It's a possibility. Like tarot, things can change. So if you can look at dreams like a reading, except it's your own subconscious. And when I tell people there's nothing to fear because you're only afraid of your own truth. It's your subconscious. I'm just translating it. And when you see these things, you're ahead of time. There's no time and space in the dream field. You've already gone to a timeline. You've actually processed something so that you can overcome it, face it, make a decision, come back here and take it from here, because we have time and space here. So that's a deep dream. That's why there's so much detail. That's why it's stuck with you. And it's not a coincidence that you had that before today, because when I speak to people about dreams, they tend to want to remember their dreams because they want to know themselves. It's nothing to do with me. I just kind of ignite the curiosity in people. And once you send a message to your subconscious that I want to know more, bang, you've got it. Your subconscious is never going to play you. You can't lie in a dream. You can't hide in a dream. Energy doesn't lie, just like the cards don't lie. The only thing that people don't know what to do is how to use their intuition and discernment. Because just as in life, there's karmic cycles that repeat. That's why we have reoccurring dreams. They're also cycles repeating that haven't, completed yet. Does that make sense? So I'm just adding a bit more information here. So what you saw was, yeah. So what you saw was very, compact, but it comes down to the word, what was the word? Caldiver?
Cavalier.
Cavalier. So cavalier is kind of a war type word, and that's quite, significant to not only what we're talking about together here, what the cards even said, because in order to get to that big kind of, dream we all might have, it's about going through and processing the emotions, the fear, the illusions, releasing those things in order to get there, taking off the bad lenses, the intoxicated eyes that aren't seeing the truth, which are almost always from fear or something someone said or we believed or something old. It's in the past, projecting forward. Now, this really does apply to everybody here. I can sense that because I read intuitively. I'm not a dream reader from books. I've never learned anything from books. This is 30 years experience that I've learned from speaking to my mother every day about dreams. Every day for 30 years.
Tell them who your mother is a little bit.
So my mother is Persian. She's from Iran. And my dad was Irish, and they met there, and she came here. And she's a very, excuse me, she's a very strong clairvoyant. So when she came here, she could barely speak English. She was speaking to my dad through dictionary and stuff. But she came here and she started doing readings, to the point, Pernell, that there was 20 people a day in our sitting room. Me and my brother used to entertain them. There was the camera people and stuff knocking on the window. She was in the papers. She overworked herself completely. But she's been a spiritual mentor to me. And I've been a spiritual, so the teacher and master have changed roles constantly here. Constantly. And like I said to you, there's numerous stories for another day that I can tell you about me and her, and how my own entrance into this world started paranormal. I was under a paranormal attack before I even got here, out of the womb. So that's another story. Yeah, that's her picture.
What year was this, out of curiosity?
The year of this article, I'm not sure.
No worries.
I think it was about 86. I would have been about 5, sorry. So that was one of the articles. And like I said, she read cards for, at the time in this country, foreigners were not allowed in any political groups. And she was the first one allowed in. And she was advising them all. So it's kind of stems back in my family, this kind of thing. And I used to read cards like her, but I got to the point I didn't need the cards anymore. It was too draining. And I started to evolve really deeply and intensely through dreams. And people have to, they have to know that your awakening happens within your dream state far more than it happens in your awakening state. That is why we need to sleep. It's our soul. Our soul needs to evolve in this. We work in the dream time. We meet each other in the dream time. I've met a guy just last week. I told you, Pernell, he talked about it on a live. He's in Indiana. I don't know him. I saw him on a live and he connected with me. And this happens to me on and off. And I rarely, very rarely reach out to people because I know who to and who not to. And he was so amazed by the message that he shared it on a live. I wasn't even there. How ironic is it that you're on a live and you're not there for it? It's very dream field stuff. And it was a really good message for this person. And obviously he shared some of it and kept some of it confidential, of course. But I'll send that clip to you. But I have numerous experiences myself, particularly the last 3 or 4 years. So people come to me with their dreams all the time. I'm bombarded with my family and friends and stuff saying, Shireen, I dreamt this. And sometimes people are having a premonition. Sometimes it's healing themselves, trauma and wounds. Other times it's perception change. It's an evolution. I call it an upgrade. Other times it's an astral travel. Other times it's a realm travel. I'm realm traveling now, which is actually, for someone who doesn't have a lot of fear with this stuff, it can be scary if you don't understand it. So it's constantly evolving, it never ends. Nothing ever ends. It's constantly changing. So that's why books are okay in context, but because we're evolving, so are our conscious, you can't keep using the same symbology over and over again because they evolve with you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Shireen, I have a question.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have, and we'll look at this more to try to get at least 2 people. Does anybody else have a dream that they would like potential clarity on? Shireen was telling me a little prior that she's willing to take the energy to basically dissect another dream. And I just feel like 1 to 2 more of us, what will happen is I have a clear feeling that it'll paint the Trinity, right? If I just put a dream out and then 2 more were to come, it would paint the Trinity of what steps are required in this next entrepreneurial space, that energetic card that we pulled in the beginning of why and how Venus and Aries and Jupiter Aries are basically stepping us into that entrepreneurial world, which requires us to listen and to share, listen to others, right? That was kind of what the cards had said in the beginning. Is there anyone else that has had a dream that they can remember? Even if it's not all the details, you'd be surprised. Dreams are so much more revealing.
Yep.
If you do, oh, is that Arisha? Go ahead, hit me, girl. Is that your hand raised? I think I do. Earl and Arisha. Okay, y'all.
Happy Saturday, y'all.
What up? What up? What up?
Oh, awesome. I just, excuse me for coming late. I just came in about 15 minutes ago. But I'm here and I definitely would like to share. So I'm a nightly twilight dreamer. It means I have a dream every night. But the one that I had last night, I'll share briefly. What I recall, it was quite a few. So I have what you call visions within the dreams, travel quest, and quite a few other things going on when I close my eyes and go to sleep. Beautiful candles, actually beautiful. So what I recall is there is this gentleman that I was being introduced to, and his first name started with an A, and his last name was Grief. And he was wanting to communicate to me and I guess in a way date me romantically, pursue me. But that to me seemed like he had a little bit too much baggage for what I was willing to entertain in the dating sphere. But I did want to connect with him on a different level to maybe help him. But that would be it. And then it moved to a different scape where I was with these 2 sisters. They were on a train and so was I. And it felt like it was like not quite a commuter train, but not quite an Amtrak train either. And we made it to the end of the line for the train ride itself or journey. And then they went about their separate ways. But it was as if I was more or less a spectator of their connection as sisters. And that was primarily it, more of an observational thing. So that was my 2 dreams that I recollect. There's other things, but just to put it into the things that stand out the most in the space of dissecting what that means, those 2 examples scenes mean. That's what I came up with last night, this morning.
Okay. Sometimes, Alicia, is it your name? Arisha, sorry, excuse me.
No problem.
Dreams can be connected like 2 chapters in a story.
Right.
Okay. So I believe these are a connection, okay, to the same issue, right? There's a choice that you have to make that you've been in 2 minds about. That's the 2 sisters.
I like it.
Split, okay? That's the train, but eventually they go their separate ways. And it is to do with a person that you have had issues with. Or you might feel like they could be an issue to you. Because when somebody says things to you like that, it's like I said, there's no lying in a dream.
Right.
Okay. Now there's also the opposite. For example, this is very complicated. So if you're crying in a dream, it normally means happiness. Okay.
Right.
Right. Okay. But the word grief itself
his name was Grief. And just to be clear, I'm not dating anyone, so I don't have anyone that I'm speaking to on that level right now in my real life, so waking life. So I don't know.
That's why I was going to say, the next thing I was going to say was that you could be relating any kind of relationship. That's too much grief. I don't want to know. It's too much grief, you know, because A is the starting number. And it's do I really want to start with that again? You know, that's what I feel. So, but it doesn't matter, because the end of the day, the train has to come to a destination.
That's
right.
Okay.
Right.
That's right.
These two, maybe not, will go their own ways, and the train will get where it's going. So you kind of have, you know, I kind of felt like you, like all of us who've been hurt in relationships, we're still holding on to some kind of projection that we're you know, putting on to the new, which we can't be doing, you know. It's not fair on them, because that's then we're doing the exact same thing, and we're recreating it, aren't we? You know, we're projecting. So that's the big lesson, you know. You're not Gemini in your chart or anything.
No, I have nothing in my Gemini. I'm a triple Aries, and I am a mental projector in human design.
Wow.
And where's Scorpio?
I just want to ask because of the two women. Okay.
Scorpio, you inquired?
No, Gemini. Sorry.
No, I was curious for myself. I'm sorry. I was curious for myself. Where is Scorpio?
That's in my 8th house with Ophiuchus.
Okay. It's in no other planet?
Oh, Neptune is there. But Neptune is in Ophiuchus in the 8th house. But I share Neptune and Ophiuchus, and I'm sorry, Scorpio and Ophiuchus in the 8th house with Neptune in that placement. Yeah.
Would you say you're a very two-minded person?
Yes, I would say I'm an interdimensional person because I live spherically, and so there's different realities that I tap into multiple times. So absolutely, two intelligences or multiple intelligences as opposed to just mind. Yeah.
You see how much it can tell you one thing.
So,
but the other part of it is something you just gotta heal a little more. I mean, we all have, right? It never ends, does it? But you're starting to get past it because of the A. You're already on the road to healing that. So that's what I can say. So it's actually really positive.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
For sure. And I just want to remind everybody in here, the eclipse is in Scorpio. Just as a base reminder for everybody. Like some chapter in our life, wherever Scorpio sits is closing, with or without our permission. It's closing. It will. And if I think about my mom and my dad, I believe they both have Neptune in Scorpio. I know my dad does for sure. I don't know if my mom does. And one of the things that first came to mind with Neptune in the moment was dreams. It's where our dreams are. It's where our imagination lies. But it also would be the space of our irrational fears. The key word is irrational. Kind of like my dream, right? Like that Shireen was saying about my dream as well. There's irrational elements involved. Stop.
There's a collective theme going here, dream-wise.
Earl, maybe you want to be that last centerpiece. I saw you said earlier you wanted to kind of speak up on your dream.
Yeah. But can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous right now, so please bear with me.
It's all good. It's all good.
So I don't have like a dream. Well, my dream last night, it's kind of fading, but I do have a dream more of a nightmare that I had like a year ago that I'm still like curious about. In the dream, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it started off in a school, or it's supposed to be a school like setting, but it was like also kind of like work. And I was working in this place at the time, where I was working. I think it was like assembly. It doesn't even matter. I'm sorry. But in the dream, I think I was like it was like I was in a dorm, or I ended up in a dorm, and I was with people that I knew from school, but I didn't personally know them. Like I just knew of them, or they're around me, but we didn't speak. And I can't really remember the events of the dream too much, but I know like towards the end of the dream, I was outside, and like it was a bunch of people outside, as if it was like an event going on, like we were star watching or something like that. And I have a tendency to look up at the sky anyway on a regular. So in my dream, I was kind of like focused on the sky. And at some point, like a meteor came, but way far off in the distance. And when I was younger, I had a dream about a meteor before, but I woke up before it caused any damage. I think the meteor fell. I thought it was strange, and then like a wave came over like towards my way. But then like more started to fall. I think like 2 more fell, and the last one that fell hit like right in front of me, and it like hit me and it like impacted me and my brother, really everybody around us. But after it hit, I actually like was feeling the heat of the meteor. My brother's face is what scared me the most, because he looked like he was actually in pain. And then I woke up immediately after.
Okay.
And that was kind of the end of the dream. And I went from like a work setting to a school dormitory setting to like an outside picnic type of setting.
Yeah. Okay. So this is coming up again with dorms, Pernell.
Yeah.
Like I said, I knew there'd be a collective theme here today. But where's Earl? There you are. It's fine. The thing about the dream is, when we're starting to see things fall from the sky, it's facing serious fears within ourselves, okay? Because the stars, they represent our destiny. It's written in the stars. So it's something that, are you very close to your brother?
Yeah, he's my best friend.
Your best friend. Yeah. And was there an issue with his identity or anything?
No,
Does
my
he
brother
have an
is.
issue? Does he have an issue?
With
his identity?
With his identity.
Like how people.
Well, I guess on the outside it doesn't seem that way, but we've had conversations before where it's come up.
Yeah, because.
But I don't think on the outside you can tell.
Yeah, no, but you know, I'm because of his face, because the way you saw his face, it would say that he has a problem with something in his identity, the way people perceive him. It's an insecurity with him. But when something like that big falls, that also enlightens you, it wakes you up. Basically, it's a tower. It's a tower to wake us up, because the stars light up the dark. They light up the dark. So I think what you were doing was you were actually bringing your brother through the astral realm to help him heal this problem.
Dope.
Right?
Dope.
Because, and it was one thing after another, and that tends to happen when we have an awakening. Like I keep saying, the awakenings happen much more in the dream field. We just have to understand them. We feel it the next day or the next month, but when you really get the grasp of the meaning, and the wave is emotions. It's emotions, Earl. So whatever, when was this?
It was actually last year, probably around this time or later in March.
And did anything stick out after that dream, or?
I woke up really distressed, scared.
No, I mean, in this reality, did anything happen after that?
Not that I can remember. I ended up leaving my job like before the like at the end of the month or with like the next month. That was the most
Okay.
that happened. And we were working at the same place. We
Okay.
both left. Actually, I left first though.
Okay. So there was some change. There
Mhm.
was some change. But I think the changes that were taking place were on way higher levels, because
Mhm.
when you're talking about the sky, it's up in the, it's way above this realm, you know, it's in this, it's in the subconscious.
Mhm.
But I definitely feel that you were healing, you were trying your best to heal him with your unconditional love for him, and vice versa. And there's nothing to be afraid of.
Mhm.
Well,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you. All right.
Interesting.
No, it really is. I feel like Fatima is supposed to say something. That's just a feeling. And I guess if anything, I'll lead you if you want to. Fatima, with your own intuition, your own intelligence, of everything you heard, 3 dreams and more, before we get ready to burn out some of these things that we're closing to help purify, what did you get? You know, as an outside of this, what did you get from this? And I'll put Jamie's name on this next sticker as well. What did you get from everything you heard collectively today? Jamie, you look good. Go ahead, girl. But Fatima, what'd you get?
Hi, everybody. I'm usually outside with it, but it's very wet and rainy out here in Virginia. I was really excited for this because I've always been a dreamer. Ever since I was little, I would have like reoccurring dreams, and hearing Shireen talk, I don't know why I'm feeling like shaky all of a sudden. It's really weird.
It's okay. It's okay. It's deep stuff.
Oh my gosh, I'm feeling so emotional all of a sudden.
It's okay. You just have to release something. Something needs to come out. You know what it is? It's just because people understand. We understand.
So I haven't, I didn't come from a background of, you know, intuitives or readers or anything like that. So as a kid, I feel like I've always been very mystical, you know. So I would have reoccurring dreams, and so hearing you interpret these dreams, it's really stirring up this new belief in myself and my ability to interpret dreams. I dream all the time. I write, I journal. But yeah, ever since I was little, I would have reoccurring dreams, and I still remember them very vividly. And you know, I'm starting to accept that, you know, a lot of my dreams are very prophetic, and I can see very deeply into the future. And you know, as a kid, it was very scary, a lot of the dreams I would have. Now once I learned maybe in my 20s how to lucid dream and how to escape in a dream, because there was always so many like nightmarish like dreams, where it was like I was running, like I've been chased by my family in numerous dreams, like trying to be run over with a car. Scorpio is now progressed into my 4th house of family. And I'm the youngest of 4. So none of this is a coincidence. My name is not a coincidence. I'm so thankful for Pernell. He literally tapped into a past life of mine, like saw my highest self, and I ended up connecting it actually with an actual real person named Fatima back in, I think it was like 880, you know. And so I'm just so thankful. I have this long list of all these things I'm releasing, because I'm ready to start anew. So you just have given me so much in this time to be able to trust my interpretation of my dreams, and because I would always be like, well, I don't know what it means. These are just such weird dreams, you know, it doesn't mean anything. And, you know, you just write it all down. It's like, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened. And then it's like, but I never do anything with it. So I'm really feeling like in my heart that it's like, after today, it's like being able to step into this whole new adventure in this astral realm and being able to accept it. And, you know, like I used to fly in my dreams. Once I learned how to fly in my dreams, you know, it was like, it was so fun. It was like every night I would go to sleep and it's like, oh, you're chasing me, you're trying to kill me. Bitch, I can fly, you know.
I love it. Yeah.
I can fly away, you know. I wasn't expecting Pernell to put me on, but you know,
I'm glad he did.
Me too, because you know what's crazy? As you came in, I wrote your name again. You're the only one with your name written twice, and I didn't realize it until like I wrote your name, and then it came twice. As Jamie came in, I had to add a name, and your name I wrote your name by accident when I tried to type in Jamie's name, and then I was like, okay, well, it's here twice, I guess.
Well, because, you know, my Instagram, I started in 2013, and my name on Instagram pretty much the whole time since 2013 is Always Dreaming, because I always dreamed. And it's funny because it was my mother who said, she said, girl, you better get your head out the clouds. This is not a dream. And because she said that, I was like, but it is. This is my dream. This is my dream that I'm making a reality. And this was years ago. And so now I have an LLC, Always Dreaming LLC, which is my spiritually based business that, you know, Pernell is helping me, you know, expand on and really step into. You know, I've shared the story numerous times. I've gone from corporate world and, you know, this 3D reality of work and how you have to do things to, you know, embracing, you know, all my spiritual gifts, because I have so many, and I can literally, I know that I can do anything. That song just like tapped into my head, you know. And I know the more I learn and the more I embrace it, the more gifted I become. And I'm just so thankful. And I love seeing Divine Orisha and Jamie and KD and Jordan and, you know, all of you. It's just such a beautiful thing to feel accepted into a community, you know, because I've spent so much time alone, you know. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Super dope. This is real life Scorpio eclipse, full circle release. What's up, Tony? How you doing? I got another name. Go ahead. Look at that. I got another name. So, everybody in the chat real quick, literally just type in, what have you learned today so far? Like, what has been revealed that may have been hidden to you prior? Something that might have been even private that you're ready to go ahead and share. Just go ahead and type something in the chat, and I'm gonna go ahead and add Tony's name, and I'm gonna refresh everybody of what's happening with this step that happens next. For me, what I learned so far is the beauty of actually listening. Okay. So Shireen said it earlier, you know, and when I say listening, I mean really listening to my own intuition. That's actually what I'm speaking about in the moment, like, but not just listening to it, but trusting it. And that actually led me to make sure that I give an opportunity to listen to all of you, which is literally what KD had mentioned about Eventbrite, making sure that I just do these things just for the people, period. And just know that all the rest will come because of such a thing. So that was what I listened to. And then that got me to listen to y'all. So the message is really the same. Like I said, I have my fire pit over here. And each of you, Tony, Jamie, Samir, Earl, Fatima, Orisha, Agnes, Ashley, Shireen, Fatima, me, KD, Lau, Jordan, Patricia, Angela. Did I miss anybody? Please say something if I did. Unless you just don't want to be involved in the next step at all, which is more than acceptable. Did I miss a name?
Did you call my name?
Who said that, Shireen?
Jamie. Did I miss my name?
Oh, yeah, no, I got you. You were like one of the first.
Oh, okay. I just
go.
didn't hear it. My bad.
I got you
Okay,
first
cool.
and last.
Thank you.
I felt I need to restart my dream journal. Okay, let's check these comments and see what's happening. All right, here we go. Wondrous. It's okay all the time. I finally need these doors are closing. Absolutely. The next part after this burning is when I go ahead and call on Archangel Michael and the rest. Honestly, I could tell you right now, Raphael. Michael is primarily for door closing as well as sword slashing and demon killing, but also protection. Raphael is primarily for our heart chakra. Okay, usually shows up as green in some capacity. And I'm gonna call more without even naming them as for what we just need. Like, all right, all the dreams that I shared today are very much all synchronous. Yes, boom. Thank you, Arisha. Listening in all forms are critical. I used to think that only active listening and using your ears, but today I feel it's deeper than I've ever known. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. We had that AstroTherapy session. Your power is only beginning. All right, here we go. Very much so divine. The beauty in hearing the pain of one others. Absolutely. Thank you, Samir. I fell in to restart my dream journal. I just restarted mine. You know, I used to journal all the time. And then I had a big gap where I stopped. And now I'm like, this season I've been writing. I've been having to. Shut down the internet 2 hours before. Bang. Yeah. Thank you, Patricia. Yeah, I saw you have a head nod at that point, and it's changed my life. I kid you not. 2 hours before I go to bed. You know, I go to bed. So, and it's not on in the morning, which is actually even more beneficial. Like, it's not on in the morning. My phone is not on. All right. The loss needed to happen for my transformation. Absolutely. And remember, what I learned about loss just really reveals how much I deeply loved. That's all. When I understood that whatever I used to feel like I lost, even if it was a car, I just deeply loved that car. I took care of it. So it does feel like a loss, but it's only saying that I deeply loved it. Or a person, okay?
May I?
Learned today that, say it again?
May I speak real quick?
Absolutely.
Fatima understands. Can you hear me? I'm sorry. Hello?
No, go ahead. I think she's on mute, Angela.
Oh, okay, let me see.
But I'm sure she can hear you.
No, because when you sat there and said that, like, I lost my best friend almost 4 years ago, and that was my soulmate. Like, exactly. I'm about to cry. God damn it. I'm sorry. Like,
cry.
And Pernell, Fatima put me on to you, and it's been so many things that just connected. And the understanding that it's okay to move forward with that loss and not see it as a loss and a pain, but because she did what she needed to do, and it's time for me to move. Like, I needed that, like, right now in my life with everything I'm trying to do. I needed to hear somebody else say that didn't know the situation. And Pernell has done that like 4 times in the last 4 weeks for me. And I won't try to speak, but yeah, I really felt the need to, since we were sharing that and you about to burn that, and I'm ready to let go of a lot of shit because it's some great things that's about to happen and I'm ready for real shit. So I'm happy to meet you.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. No, thank you, Angela, so much, you know, because in all sincerity, I didn't know that you were looking at anything. I mean, so, you know, that just goes to show what I want to really, as this bee is staring right at me. Oh crap, there's 2 of them. They're just chilling. They pulled up on me like real life gangsters. Sorry. So they literally pulled at me like, yo, what's up, bro? And I'm like, oh, okay. So the beauty of this is, one, I didn't know you were there, right? And I've said this on different lives, and I've had different lives where I had my video on private and I didn't know. And I kept speaking anyways, the entire like hour and 40 minutes, 0 people, right? And afterwards, and I spoke about how important it was with like a Jupiter and Leo, where in the 9th house, where teaching is like, oh, Jupiter's Leo's like, give me, where's the attention at? It's like, I get bigger, the more attention. It's the simplicity. I had to learn to embrace that, because I used to be like, oh, I shouldn't be like this, right? Like I shouldn't get bigger with more attention. But I also had to embrace, like, it was just true. It literally was just true. Now, my point is, when I speak about this, think of the dream that I had that Shireen gave in the beginning. We were going to a stadium, going to a celebration. And the dream, the last dream that I had with PD in it, what happened before? It was another underground secret society celebration. There was drums playing, right, as we pulled up in transport. So my point being, to really link it back to you in the story, is as all of us take our entrepreneurial efforts, understand that there's always more support than that will reveal. For 4 weeks, Angela has been watching, and I had no clue, right? I had no clue what she's going through, what the story is, what I'm saying is helping or not, no clue. And it's the same point where I was making, where, you know, I had to get to the point where I would show up in rooms with 0 people in real life and the internet, and still teach like thousands and thousands and millions of people. Because all my life I've had dreams of being in these big stadiums, and my whole life from birth, it's been like that. And my point behind this is, as we get ready for this next step, out of all of this, the bigger lesson I've learned for myself, because I didn't get to type one yet, but now it's here, is to be your own best cheerleader. Swear to God. Like people made fun of me on Instagram when I used to like my own pictures. I literally had it for years and years. Why you like your own picture? That's weird. And then I'd be on their phone, and like multiple people, and they'd be on their own profile looking at their pictures from their phone, right? And I would like the picture, and they're like, oh, what are you doing? You don't like my picture? This is my profile. I don't like my own picture. And my point is, be your own best cheerleader. Honest to God, be your own best cheerleader, because no one will ever care about your business. It's one of the most painful lessons that my mentor taught me like 7 years ago when I was starting up my businesses. He was like, no one's going to love your business more than you. I was expecting people to just sit there. And, go ahead.
Pernell, it's the exact same thing as a child. No one's going to love your baby more than you. If you have a child. If you have a child. Your business, the same thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because in all sincerity, these were my babies. My business is my baby. And I'm willing to cut people over stuff like that. So it's the truth. Go ahead, Katie.
I just want to chime in real quick, because it tickled me, as y'all could probably see when you mentioned like your own pictures. I actually have like 2 Instagram pages as well as 2 YouTube channels. And at first I was like, should I have all of this? Is it pulling me in so many different ways? But literally with my Instagram specifically, one of my pages, I just promote my other page. Like me interacting with myself. I feel like a lot of times it can be shunned upon to put yourself first. It's always put God first. It's always put all these other things first. And I'm not, combating that. But you wake up and you go to sleep and you walk around and you interact with yourself all the time. And a lot of times we are not giving ourselves that attention, right? We're losing that connection with ourselves. And so that tickled me that you mentioned that, but that's literally the practice that I've used to help build my confidence in myself in the way that I'm navigating and move through life, by having that physical representation of me seeing myself support myself.
Absolutely.
I Divine, I want to say something too, but I see that you had your hand up before me, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let you go first. Because your hand was up.
No,
Did you
my
want to
hand
say something?
It was
okay.
Accidentally when I first came in. I pressed the raise hand accidentally, so my apologies.
Okay, I don't want to cut anybody off, but I wanted to say something too real quick.
Thank you.
You guys talking about keeping your, being your own cheerleader and all that. I think it's also very important to know, like, to have a formula to raise your vibrations and know how to, pick your own self up. It's very important to like have a formula to do that. And, just keeping your vibes high. It's your protection.
Yeah.
It's just like
absolutely.
it just keeps you protected. You know, the minute you feel it drop, do something to pick it back up. For me, I like to play music or listen to inspirational things, or, you know, sometimes I have to get up and physically move and shake myself and shake the energy up. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say that. And Pernell, I'm not sure what you're about to do with that paper, but as we're talking about dreams, last night I had a dream that I'm not going to say what it was written on the paper, but there was something written on a piece of paper. And I feel like you're about to burn it for me. So that's
absolutely.
it.
And I'm going to remind us all. So for everybody in here, for starters, this is the candle progress from the beginning to the end of the call. Okay. Mind you, this is all of us collectively. This is throat chakra representation. This is heart chakra representation. Okay. Clearing the way, clearing the muck, the gunk from our heart, all the icky that hasn't allowed us to forgive and move forward and embrace loss as a sense of a way for us to get back to loving deeper, okay? Better than we did the first time, right? Everybody has that first cut love, right? Where like, I'm never gonna get back to that. And I can speak for myself in this moment. I was like, I'm never gonna be able to love like that again. And all these fears are being faced, within myself included. So, and when I say faced, I just mean witnessed. All right, there's not much to do. Just to witness it, right? And then move freely from there. So with the papers, I have each of our names on here. And I got dizzy for a moment. And I want you to, on your own paper, on your side, to take a piece of paper. They burn really quick, I know. Take a piece of paper, and I want you to write down your irrational fears. I want you to write down your irrational fears. And I also want you to write whatever you want to close, okay? Whatever you need to close in your life. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring you over to my fire pit. And I'm using fire as part of the symbolism for clarification. I mean, for clarification and purification. Now, I put your names on this because this is me symbolically burning this for all of us. But I do want and highly recommend that you take your own time afterwards, after this call, go outside, do what you must, and also burn whatever you wrote. As for what's closing out for you, okay? If you need help on what that looks like, look for Scorpio in your chart. Wherever Scorpio sits, whatever house it sits, you can even just type that house. If you don't fully know what that means from an astrological interpretation, you can just type Venus in Scorpio I got in the 4th house. Okay, type that out and let your guides do and close all the doors in that area. So you don't have to know the symbol of, you know, what that Scorpio means in that house or that place. Let it symbolically do the work. Understand that your intelligence on the divine level is way greater than what we can rationally dissect. Okay, so I want you to definitely burn that for yourself. But here I go. All right, we got Jamie, Angela, Patricia, Jordan, Laura, Katie, Fatima, Pernell, Shireen, Ashley, Agnes, Arisha, Fatima, Earl, Samir. Before I do burn this, is there any last minute something that somebody would like to say?
I didn't hear my name.
You didn't hear your name?
No.
Oh, because yours is accidentally attached to the back of Jamie's, but that probably means that I need to double up for you. That's honestly what I feel. So you about to get a double up.
Pernell, one thing.
Trust me, Ari.
Yes.
Just remember the way you said we should love ourselves and not be afraid of it and be our own cheerleaders. So they've used our own self-love against us.
That's right.
So
yes, they have.
You can love anyone else, but you can't love yourself. It's complete gaslighting. Write that down.
Right.
Can I say something kind of popping off of that?
Yeah.
Something that I just wrote on my paper that I guess I kind of want to share in case anybody else was feeling the same way, and it was like they didn't recognize it because I didn't put it on my paper before. For an irrational fear, is that I'll never feel worthy or experience. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll never feel worthy of or experience a deep, intimate, unconditional love, and that I'll always have to prove my worth rather than just feeling and knowing it and defining it for myself.
Powerful. Earl, how old are you? Inform them.
I'm sorry.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
And Earl, did you write his name on the back of my card, Pernell?
No, I wrote Tony's was in the back of yours.
Oh, it was Tony. Okay, I was about to say, because I had wrote something very similar to what Earl said. Okay.
And I wrote it down here too.
I stepped away for a minute and you were mentioning something about the signs in terms of writing down. Could you repeat that?
Absolutely. So what I was saying is, one, to consider and write down what are the things that you're closing out, and two, write down your irrational fears. Okay. So if you did not know astrology itself about what does Neptune in Scorpio mean, literally write down Neptune in Scorpio 9th house and let your guides carry that intelligence for you. I would also say anything in the house of Neptune. So I'm gonna write Capricorn for myself on this paper. And it's a good time. It's the last minute. You might as well get y'all last little whatever's on here. Don't be afraid now. So I'm writing Capricorn on here because my Neptune is in Capricorn. So I have irrational fears around constructing that public image somewhere, right? And I'm writing second house. It's in the second house, which will count self-worth, self-esteem, right?
What'd you say about, I'm sorry, Neptune in Capricorn? Because I have that.
So I'm writing it because I know a lot of us in here have Neptune in Cap. I'm also going to write Scorpio symbol. I'm also going to write 12th house because that's where the irrational fears are. So any of the 12th house for all of us. So as a part of that, I'm going to write Pisces because that's who runs it. I'm going to draw the symbolism for Neptune, if I could remember what the heck that was. How the hell do you draw Neptune? That's Uranus. What's Neptune?
It's like a trident.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I remember now. Thank you. Okay. Yep, I got it. Boom. Yep, I got you. Okay, here we go. Last minute ad. Okay. Oh, we got a runner. Anybody want to take a guess who ran?
Who's trying to escape?
Lao. We're gonna just make sure that motherfucker don't come back. It's like, just make sure. Make sure. Make sure they don't even come back. Okay, ladies and gents, we are now officially ready to go through this final purification step. The candles are literally down at the last edge of their life. I feel like it's worth showing you what they look like in the moment. And with that said, here we go. So find a comfortable position. Okay. I want you to open up your chest. I'm going to walk you through angelic Reiki in the moment. All right. I've informed you that I do know 2 for sure that are definitely going to come, and it will be Archangel Michael and Raphael. Raphael for the heart, Michael for the dome of protection, for starters. Okay. Because as you get ready to close doors, understand that these doors we're talking about are coming, like you said, from that astral realm. Shireen spoke a little bit about that. All this stuff has already happened in that metaphysical space way before here. And there's no time in reality. Now, as a part of that, there are definitely things that are involved that do not want you to close those doors. So I want you to understand that as well. So as a step first, I'm going to have Michael to put the dome up. So everybody in his energetic space, including whoever may be watching somewhere, even astro watching, right? Even astro projecting, they can't come in, period. You're protected, all right? Now, among that, if they do, I'm telling you, they getting whooped, period. It's just going, it is what it is.
That's how I be feeling.
Then, yo, that's what it is. Like that, this is not what they want. They don't want this beef right now. No.
You don't want the smoke.
No smoke. But the last and the most important that I have for this is Michael, his primary responsibility is to close the door. Now, with that said, I'm going to invite whatever other angel feels they need to pull up. The name is what it is. The purpose will fill itself. So you might see colors. I want you to, in this moment, if you see certain colors, take note of that. It's likely an indication of what individually may have needed to heal for you. Okay. Now, here we go. Take a shimmy on your shoulders. Before we even get to that standpoint, take a shimmy here. Shake your neck. Okay. Let's focus on a little bit of tapping release. I feel a little bit of dizziness right now. So there's a little bit of irrational fear already beginning to rise. Let's just find some exit points in these meridians. Okay. This line straight down the middle is one of our meridian points. One of the big ones, opening in the crown. Across your chest bone is another one of those meridian points going straight across that collar. And don't be afraid to dig in. Excuse me. That led me to the belly. I want to have you just dig in your belly, much like this. And this is going to help us to digest what's closing out, right? It's going to help the digestion of everything. Mind you that first intelligence is in the gut, right? The mind is in the gut. Now, when have you take your hands, understand that these are escape points from your heart, okay? In Chinese medicine, the heart chakra comes through the arms and it releases out through the tips. So I want you to imagine a stream of water cleansing your heart right now. As I took a soft breath. And that stream is flowing through the arms. And it's being carried out as we shake through the fingers. My feet are planted and rooted into the ground as I can visualize these roots stemming from my toes, digging deep to the core of the earth. And now in this moment, my hands are resting on top of my knees for support. As I open my chest and open my heart, I want you to begin by visualizing an energetic dome outside of your own body so you can recognize individual space. And just for this moment, can everybody mute? Anybody that's not muted, just for this moment, can we all mute? Thank you very much. Now here, take notice of the birds and realize that all your support is surrounding you. It's flying with you. As you envision your own energetic support, create a dome so you can recognize yourself. Now, very far away from you, and I mean very far away from you, I want you to notice the slit in the sky. As your angels pull through this divine spark, notice how far they are, because they respect your space. You can take a moment to envision them slowly making their approach, and take notice of any colors around their energetic field. But notice the difference between yours. And they may not enter without your permission. As you soften your breath and your shoulders relax with ease, they continue to approach. And in your mind, you may say yes, or you may say no. As they get closer, you can feel the energy radiating. But with emotional intelligence, you recognize their field, but you recognize your field as well. And they are separate. Notice all the tension from your teeth begin to relax. And the rate of your breathing begins to calm and steady. All of your support is just outside of your barrier. And with your final permission, as your support and your angels and your guides are an arm's length away, may they place their hands on your shoulder. It is a yes or a no. Thank you. And for just a moment, they'll stay here. And you'll notice both of your energetic fields fused. Maybe there's a new color. As their wings sprout open, bright and wide, notice them cave in, wrapping you like a baby in a blanket in their healing arms and protection. Notice the micro shifts in your body and your state of mind. Notice the ease and the grace of the union. And in this moment, I want you to look at the door. Whether it's cracked open or it's wide open, I want you to see the door. And understand that you are safe in the embrace of your guides. During this embrace, notice the door begin to close. As you slightly smile and take a moment to celebrate with your guides. As you thank your guides, for they've always been by your side And now, you know. As we ask for these celestial doors and gates to close, in order for us to walk anew, notice any and all sensations. What do you smell? What do you feel? What do you see? What do you hear? All the micro steps, all the micro changes. Notice the door is closed. Notice your guides celebrate with you. As you're still wrapped in the embrace of their wings, notice the sheer volume that has arrived. Simply at your call and your surrender. Take a moment within yourself to thank yourself for allowing such a thing. For understanding that barriers and boundaries exist. And you are the one in control. You are the one that validates yourself. And not only are you the one, but your guides won't even cross that boundary or that barrier without your permission. This is a glimpse of your true power. A glimpse. As you notice the wind and the sounds, we're ready to fly. You're safe. You're loved. You're grounded. As you notice the wings begin to slowly open, notice their hands are still on your shoulder. And finger by finger, they begin to lift with grace and reassurance that they are only one call away. One step at a time, they begin to walk away. As you begin to walk your way, they gradually get further. As you continue to notice the micro shifts, notice the colors of your energetic shield now. Notice the vibrancy, notice the recharge, notice the healing, notice the light. As that slit in the sky reopens, and with grace, patience, and loyalty, notice your guides return, waiting for your next call. And in this moment, may you stay healed, rejuvenated, and loved to pioneer your next step now that these doors are officially closed. You may transform. You have the emotional permission to transform the story, the lies, and the irrational fears. You may fly. As you begin to wiggle your toes and slightly move your fingers, when you are ready, you may return to your body. You may return to this space. Thank you, Arisha, for this book. Arisha, when the time comes, you have my WhatsApp. If you would like to send me that link, I will send a follow-up email so everyone has this in a space that they know they can find it for the angel signs and celestial guide. Thank you. That said, this is an open free moment. If somebody has a feeling or a desire to share their experience, you may.
I would like to.
Hit me, Tony, and thank you, Jordan.
Doing that visualization, I was really, really big, like, and I was sitting Indian style, I guess, and the dome was gold, but my angels were smaller than me. And I thought that was really weird because typically when I would envision my angels, they're always bigger than me. But in this moment, they weren't bigger than me. And then when they entered my my dome, they came in and they surrounded me in a circle, and they were pastel colored, all different pastel colors, and they went up the dome like this. And then after you did the part where you said they were going back into the slit, my dome just wasn't gold colored anymore. It completely surrounded me, and it was a pearl color. It was pearl-like. And it was like I was floating inside this dome that at first I was sitting down, but now when I stand up and walk, it's from head to toe, it encases me. That was the first time I ever visualized something like that. And I thought that was pretty wild. So yeah.
Thank you, Tony. Shireen, can you help us out with that? Because I can feel it. You got it.
Well, I was just writing in the chat there that I saw a white horse, pearly white horse with wings, which tells me, just as you were speaking, I just said, I just have to pick one card, last card. And it was creative project.
Wow.
For everybody. And the horse is to take us somewhere, So I felt that very strong. Like we left there for a minute. We went somewhere for a minute, but the divine energy that we're all after tapping into is pretty awesome. And it's very pure, hence the white, the pearl. The new dome, as you were saying, Tony, is even higher, evolving perspectives again, evolving yourself. and seeing from a higher perspective of yourself as well. It's awesome. It's really good.
It's funny you say that. On my paper, I wrote about some of the like Scorpio and Pluto and stuff that I have, that I'm releasing the lower aspects of those things.
Right.
And so to say that I'm looking from a higher view, like I'm releasing the lower things associated with that that no longer serve me. So
that's right. Consider it
Super
done, I'd
dope.
say.
Awesome. Anybody else? KD.
Yeah, so I just wanted to chime in as well. As I was going through the experience, a similar thing happened for me as well, and I kind of drew it out. And when I did the dome, it's like Tony said, when the angels were outside, they were very, very small, right? And then I allowed them into my space, and they sat before me, Indian style. And there were specifically three angels. And what I saw were colors, and I saw the colors purple, green, and blue. And when they came into the space, it's like I was larger, but then we became equal. We were the same within my space. And then after that, when they had their hands on my shoulders, they were outside, standing behind me, and each one had their hands on my shoulders. And then again, when you release them back into, their spaces, like they walked from one side, they walked away, and one person walked, or angel walked behind, and I walked forward, and it was as if we were spreading all together, the expanding the field, and then the colors that my actual dome was yellow, and then it turned orange. So what that spoke to me, kind of right, like what Miss Shireen said, is that first follow your intuition and trust yourself, and then use that trust and create from that place, not of a place of lack or fear, but of that place of trust and openness and willingness to share first with yourself, but also with those around you, to kind of bridge that gap between where you may feel lower than, right? And bringing that vantage points and viewpoint in order to, like I said, move in whatever direction it is that you're wanting to move through, the creative endeavors and ventures that we all have within us.
Thank you.
Big time leveling up for everyone.
I was gonna ask, what are you hearing, Shireen?
I'm hearing leveling up. Everyone's leveling up.
I would also like to say this morning, before any of this started, I decided to sign up for this about a week ago. But it's the energy of it. It's that putting that step forward, because first I was late to the call, but that's because I was doing my own 3 experiences with the Archangel Michael, which were beautiful. But before this started, this morning I woke up, I was kind of lucid dreaming, and I heard four doors close. The type of doors that I heard close are not the type of doors that are in this house. It was like the door you would have on like a commercial business, like the one you push with the lever. That's what it sounded like. And I heard it 4 times, and I woke up like, what is that sound? And like, why did I hear it? And I heard it in my left ear. And it was 4 doors that closed. So I know that it was 4 doors that closed today for me.
Yeah, definitely. And your left ear is your feminine. It's your feelings. It's your emotional side.
Well, anyway, I take that back. It was this my right ear.
Then it's your masculine side.
Yeah. So it's my right ear.
Yeah. It's awesome. I mean, everybody's saying and feeling and having dreams and kind of even just symbology in the same collective kind of ways. And it really does line up with Scorpion kind of stuff, with death and rebirth and endings and beginnings and letting go and purging. And I can say for everyone, like I said, that last card was creative project. So that kind of doubles down on the first card. So after all the work is done, this is what you get. You get the creative work you want. We get. That's all I have.
Yeah, I feel like I see you, Patricia. I pulled this card twice by accident. Like, I mean, by accident. I was like, what the? So I'm gonna read this. I really feel like it's one of the closing messages to bring in to what Shireen had pulled as well. It is a card of fire for starters. Okay. The zebra element is one of fire. Take a moment to. Of course, it's hiding. Actually, it's not hiding, it's going. It's trying to move. And I know why. Okay, here we go. Zebras are eccentric, creative, and visionary. You see the vision. Zebras are the most precious of gems. They are young at heart, well-cultured, and have an undying curiosity about life. Being in the company of a zebra personality is not only a delight, but also opens our minds. Be prepared. Their potent magic is contagious, and you may soon find yourself in a faraway land. Expanding your worldview while having a blast. Zebras also like to contribute to the global health through environmental or volunteer work. This card may be a hint to pack your bags. When out of balance, you are jaded, Scorpio, pouty, Taurus, and vain. When in balance, you're worldly, 9th house, enthusiastic, and fashion forward. To bring into balance, focus on art and taking an epic adventure.
That's a beautiful card.
I love
Yeah,
the
it
zebra
is.
card. Every time I get the zebra, I'm like, because I saw it up front and I was like, okay, I'm gonna play around. And I went through it and it was like, no, it's me, bro. And I was like, I'm gonna just, let me. And it came again. I was like, okay.
Exciting.
And it was trying to already go. Notice, at first I thought it was trying to hide, but then the way the wind kept blowing is like, no, I'm trying to move. I'm not hiding. I'm trying to go. I'm trying to pack that bag and go. And I know multiple people in here, women in here, are going to the retreat already. So I know that for a starter, even Orisha, she's taking a trip to, I'm not going to say it because I don't have permission to do so, but she's taking a trip as well. And so at that bag.
You have my permission, Pernell. Absolutely. You can share.
She's
It's a
pulling up to Brazil. She's pulling up to Brazil. And I'm looking at it.
Time.
Yeah.
Belly.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
And I was looking at it too. I might be up in, I looked at my astrocartography, so I might be up in Rio de Janeiro. I can't even say the word yet.
That's a beautiful place. It's in my astrocartography of a very beautiful location also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this was a pleasure. If I try to give the overall message of what I got, to really step into this new identity that you do value and you're ready to expand, focus on a creative project. So in the meanwhile, take a moment, type in the chat, what is the creative project that you're either currently working on or something that you want to start? Something that you're currently working on or something that you want to start. So go ahead and take the time to do that. And I say that from a sense of, it's just putting that into affirmative action. Launching my YouTube. Where's my chat at? Building my temple. Some interesting dreams. There you go, Agnes, coming up. Absolutely. Tony, I see music. Shireen, music projects, dream work. Okay. Writing this book I've been planning for over a year, but haven't taken the proper action. Okay. So right now we have some doors closed that's helping us get through there. We have some doors closed. And the majority of you have my number. So reach out. Get connected. I see 3 music people in here right now. Get connected. Oh, 3D forest and art. Wow, that sounds incredible. Patricia, wow. Meltdown to enlightenment for the observer and oracle. Awesome. Yeah, this is incredible. I love taking that moment to just confirm it, right? Because it's like part of what I found to irrational fears that pull up, okay? And what this Scorpio gate is kind of starting to try to close up for us. Part of those irrational fears are, it's just in our own head. We've never spoke it out loud. But by the time we do, and we hear a little feedback from somebody else, which we're also irrationally afraid of what that feedback might be, by the time we actually just allow it, what happens next? We get the actual ideas how to push the project forward.
Exactly.
That's the magic. And Shireen said this, and that's why I feel like a part of it. She said in the beginning, she said, starting to listen to others. Listening, not just to your own intuition yourself, but also to others, which you would then do what? Go back to yourself and listen to what does your intuition say about the new pieces of information that you gathered. So it's a process. And I can speak about that for myself as a Scorpio rising, that when I first was traveling, trying to get my business off the ground, I was mad private. I didn't even realize how private I was. I literally did not know I was such a private human being. So private. Kept all that thing so close, okay? Where things didn't really move in my own personal business, quite frankly, until I start talking to people. Until I let those irrational fears just say, look, you just don't have enough anymore over me. I gotta talk. I wanted to talk. And I began to gradually. And I needed this energy of the zebra. I needed to be in a faraway land, honestly, to feel comfortable enough to talk to strangers. I wasn't talking to my family. I wasn't talking to my friends back home. I was talking to random strangers from different countries, different languages, and different cultures. And that gave me the security net. That faraway journey gave me the security net to actually gain the confidence in myself, to speak it up to everybody. And that gave me the ideas, and that started to move the needle and allow my dreams to get closer and closer to the point where some of the bigger ones already have been knocked. And I need a whole new set, a whole new goal set, which is great, a great place to be. But let this be a testament. Take a trip, be a visionary, but remember that Venus is in Aries, Jupiter's in Aries. Mars will be there by next month, okay? It's getting ugly outside when it comes to actually taking the fiery start. And when I say ugly, this is a good thing. It's looking real pretty outside. Let me change the word. It's looking real pretty outside if you take the action. The final reminder I have as a part of this, we have doors closed. Okay, great. All the Pisces energy, Mars and Pisces, the last Pisces energy other than Neptune, which will just be there to 2025. Pisces, the last energy, that's the close, that's 12th house. That's all of our rational fears have risen. The retrograde that's currently happening is allowing us to backtrack to say, look, get real stable in these ideas as before we get to spread them when Gemini goes back into Mercury out of retrograde. Technically it's still there, but it's in retrograde. But it's going to go to Taurus. It's going to go back to Gemini. That's going to be when we start spreading those ideas, how we're listening and talking to Shireen. And that happens very non-judgmentally. Gemini is very non-judgmental. It's just curious. It may not actually like the idea, but it won't pin you for it either. It won't like crucify you. It'll just smile and give you ideas about how to expand the idea. And it'll just fly away like the wind. So my point is, with all of that, this fire energy of the zebra, this triangle up top is fire. The doors are closed. You heard Tony say it, fork for him closed. Many of us are closed for us as well. Now that means that there's a new door. Yep. Aries, Venus in Aries, Jupiter in Aries, Mars will be there soon. New action, expansion, and values. Embrace the new path. In the process, listen to the nature, to yourself, your intuition, and others. But still make your choices that you need to. You got to eventually still come back to trusting your intuition at the end of the day. Because like we said, nobody's going to support your project bigger than you do. More than you do. It's your baby. Why should anyone else take care of your child? And really, that for me is the closing message. I'm going to have Arisha send me that link. I'm also going to type in the follow-up email, all of Shireen's information. She's magnificent when it comes to astro world, everything 12th house, interpreting dreams. All right. So from what I understand now, she has bookings going straight through just her email. You send her an email and she sends you the follow-up information. That's what I'm familiar with, as well as she has a Facebook group. Absolutely. And thank you, Shireen, for coming out here and sharing your wisdom.
Honored. I'm honored.
Yeah. Dreams are, I've always loved dreams. Just sent the link to me. Thank you, Shireen. Thank you, Arisha, And the poems. Yeah. So what I also do is I'll send you, Shireen writes poems. And her poems are dope, matter of fact. And there's just like visual. And there's a lot of them that I've sung so far are short. And I'll send that to you guys as well in the follow-up link. So I'll get connected with her. And for anybody else that has a talent, that has a gift, and you want to come on, understand I'm running these events at least once to twice a month. And I'm always looking for other people to contribute their genius. So reach out, say something, get on board, come correct, come with your links, come with your bookings, whatever that is, come with your channel, whatever that is, come correct so that we can actually maximize what you do and get it out there. And that's how I intend to continue to use the channel. How we feeling?
Great.
All right, can we do this? Can we just take this moment of self-appreciation for ourselves for closing these doors? Absolutely. In a poetic way, right? We don't even have to be anymore. That Libra moon went by. We don't even have to be Aries. Rah, rah, rah. We can just be like, look, I know I got it. I know I'm ready.
Fear already beforehand.
We already dispelled it. Understand that, again, I'm not going to touch these candles right now, to be honest. I'm going to get gloves on for that, mother. But they're burned. So we've already dispelled it. I thank you all for pulling up and showing out. I thank y'all for being vulnerable and sharing your stories. We've had a moment to have time to cry, to express, to reveal, to share, and to close out the chapters that are done. And I want to say thank you. Absolutely, Ashley. Thank you. Agnes, Tony, Angela, Katie, Jordan, Patricia, Fatima, Lau, Agnes, Earl, Shireen. Thank you all. Jamie, thank you all. Arisha, Angela, thank you all. Samir, thank you all. I hope I didn't miss anybody. And I'll see you soon.